Shame is a demonic garment, and it's shame and rejection are almost always connected. Shame is defined, and I want you to hear this definition, as a painful feeling of humiliation. Oh, think about that. When shame is present, the spirit can hide. A spirit of shame can hide, or a rejection can hide, making it difficult to address the underlying issue that the person is dealing with. This is a hard one. Shame is a very difficult one to navigate through. And unless you hear it like on the surface and God says, there's shame here, you're not going to necessarily see it right away. It's a very strong protector, but it also is hiding. Um, Accepting the love of God is essential to being healed from shame. And you can go to Adam and Eve, right? It says, they were hiding, they covered themselves. God's like, how'd you know? And they're ashamed. And so they covered themselves. They hid. Shame will cause you to hide, or shame will hide. So you have to determine what that's going to look like. But Romans 8:38 says, I am convinced that nothing can ever separate us from God's love. Neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, and neither our fears for today nor our worries about tomorrow, not even the powers of hell can separate us from God's love. And this is why identity is so important. To know that God loves us even in our shame. God loves us even in our sin. And that took me years to say that. That God actually loves us in our sin. It doesn't mean, now I'm not going to get into all the sin. I'm just going to say, I'm going to flatline that because there are some conditions. But for the most part, the Bible reassures us that God is love and God loves. We have a hard time identifying that love, especially if we've come to trauma and other things. So shame is one of the things that doesn't get talked about very often, but it's powerful covering over the soul. It creates a wall between us and other people and keeps us from fully identifying as a child of God. And it is a demonic garment meant to keep us from embracing our destiny, always looking at the penalty instead of the price paid to pardon us. And it is a barrier to healing. Shame, pride, and rejection can all become demonic coverings of protection. When working with individuals, shame is overlooked. As I said, you got to dig deep to find it or have a word of knowledge to know that it's there. The first biblical reference to shame is Genesis chapter 2.